Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and I'm back this time with my review of the Iron Man The Armored Avengers Legend Series Titanium Man figure. Now, I finally got my hands on this guy. This line has actually been out for roughly around 3 weeks in my area. At the time I'm making this video, at least. And the first case that came in, Titanium Man was gone like that. I didn't even have a chance at him. And it took them a while to reorder the case, since this line is primarily composed of previously store-exclusive Iron Man figures and a few rehashes from the other movie line. But they finally did reorder a case, and I managed to get my hands on one. And he looks awesome here in the packaging. I've heard some gripes about the green paint being a little too light, but honestly, it doesn't bother me. He comes with his blaster and his 2 missiles. Kind of an oversized gimmick, but it's detachable, so can't really complain there. On the back of the packaging, his read-up says, as a loyal KGB agent, Boris Bulsky was more than happy to undergo the experiments that increased his size and strength and wear the massive armor that turned him into the Titanium Man. He was assigned to embarrass the United States by defeating Iron Man in open combat, but the armored hero's fighting skills and superior technology defeated the massive Russian armor. Over here you have the Mark VI, the Hulkbuster, and the War Machine armor figures. And that being said, Titanium Man looks like an awesome figure. Let's pull him out of the packaging. And here we have Titanium Man out of packaging. Despite the fact that his blaster looks a little out of place to me, it can clip on easily right there between the cuff of his armor. You press this little button here, and a rather unimpressive missile launch, but oh well. It has some decent detail on it. But as I say with all these oversized missile launcher gimmicks we get with almost every figure series, I don't use them. They go in a spare parts bin. Now on to Titanium Man himself. My figure seems to be a touch bow-legged. Titanium Cowboy. But it really doesn't hinder the fact that he's still an awesome looking figure. There's a really great amount of detail all down his armor. Some people once again have complained that the green's a tad too light, but I don't know, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, granted, I can understand what they're talking about, but you know, little things like that. I'm just happy the figure got made. Titanium Man is my favorite Iron Man bad guy. As far as articulation, his head would do a full 360. It's a little hindered by his shoulder pads. Has a very nice up and down. His shoulder pads actually raise up to allow for more movement in the arms, which are on a ball joint. Spin at the bicep. Double joint at the elbow. Always nice to see that. Spin and bend at the wrist. So, very nice there. Same for both arms. Putting the shoulder pads back down. He has a abdomen crunch, but it's very, very hindered. I mean, you pretty much got this. His torso does a full 360. Legs are also on a ball joint. Spin at the quadricep. Double joint at the knee. Ankle joint. Spins and bends. So some very nice articulation. I've got to say, I'm really impressed with this guy. He was well worth the wait for me. We don't get near enough armored Iron Man villains, and the last Titanium Man figure we actually got this guy in the 3 3/4 inch line from Iron Man 2. And before that, the Iron Man 1 series had their own little take on Titanium Man from the video game. But speaking of that, here is the Iron Man 2 version. As you can see, a much darker paint. I'll give you the darker paint looks better, but it doesn't change the fact that these are still both awesome figures. Getting into some quick size comparisons here. Here is a Toy Biz Iron Man in comparison to Titanium Man. Titanium Man's a bit bigger, but I always thought the comics his armor would be a little bit bigger, so that doesn't bother me. And here is a Hasbro Iron Man, which let's get him standing up here. As you can see, once again, Titanium Man is a bit bigger, even at his kind of awkward stance. And I like that, honestly. Titanium Man's armor always struck me as being more massive, more about brute force than kind of cutting-edge technology like Tony's. So, that being said, the price of this line at Toys R Us, at least, because I haven't seen these at many other stores yet, is $17.99. That is a lot to pay for a figure. Now, granted, I think Titanium Man is worth the pickup. I don't really see how the line is going to survive with that. So, I mean, like, the War Machine in this line is great. The movie War Machine. But he was a Walmart exclusive before this. The way he looks in packaging, they've changed absolutely nothing. And they've jacked the price up by almost $7. So, it's kind of ridiculous. I would be much more comfortable around. I mean, I'd even be happy if the line was just $15. Bridging on $20 a figure is too much. However, if you're a die-hard Titanium Man fan like me, or if you just want an awesome Iron Man villain to go in your collection, Titanium Man is definitely a pickup. I can't wait for Crimson Dynamo and Wave 2 so we can have the infamous team up to fight Iron Man. That being said, this is JTrain997, and I'll see you soon, YouTube.